All right, everybody, welcome to Name the Show. Here we go. Let's do it. Hey, everyone. We're back in the World Shed Quarters. Look, I'm going to be very straightforward right from the beginning. I had said I was changing the format of the show. Sometimes I'd have a guest. Sometimes I wouldn't have a guest. I said all of that. And I said the reason was because I didn't want to miss a week. And then I've missed like 3 weeks. I'm so sorry. But it's been crazy cool. And I got to catch you up. So let me catch you up on what's been going on. First of all, we've started the tour, the new tour. I'm calling it the Feel Good Magic Tour because magic should not be mean. We've all seen magic get mean, right? Guy asked for a volunteer. Now your head's in a guillotine. Your wallet's on fire. Not cool. We're not going to do that. It's a fun magic show. And so I'm doing a fun comedy magic show right now all around the country. And we're adding dates left and right. Here's what happened. This is nuts. So we start the tour and before, so I planned this tour not knowing if anyone was going to come. Because let's be real, as a creative, you don't know what people are going to connect with. And we've all got busy lives. There's a lot of stuff happening. I have the hiccups because Katie just made me a delicious burrito. It was so good. And I should have waited, what's the rule? It's swimming, it's wait an hour. What's the rule for podcasting? I should have waited a little bit after I ate, but it was so good, and I scarfed it down, and now we're here. And look, I have a cup with ice. It's like the number one thing with podcasts is not ice. I think the number one thing is preparation, which we already don't have. I am super stoked because we planned this tour. We planned a bunch of dates, and I said, I'm just going to put them on sale, see if anyone comes. And there's this thing where as an entertainer, you need to share what you do online. And for years I was like, I don't know. I don't want to put my videos out on Instagram and worry about this and that. Listen, I put out a video recently and nothing has changed. I've been doing the same thing for years, doing magic and stories. But I put a video out of me doing a trick with a puzzle. And I was sitting on an airplane. I was killing time. I had the footage because we have filmed a special, which is available on YouTube, called Enjoy the Ride. If you haven't seen it, I'm very proud of it. It's the last show that I was touring around with, and we just filmed the whole thing and put it out on YouTube. And I was super, super excited. I was like, I'll just make a little clip and just put it out there. Not thinking anything extraordinary would happen. And then wouldn't you know it, this random video, a video that's been on the internet for 3 months on my special, but a little 1 minute and 11 second clip got 48 million views on Instagram. It's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And then all of a sudden, all these new friends on Instagram that weren't there before, like 200,000 new friends that weren't following along before are there now. It's so crazy cool. And I'm excited because now, we've got these tour dates on and people are starting to buy tickets. We started in Lake Tahoe and it was really weird. I do these theater shows in Lake Tahoe and sometimes you'll meet people that you've met along the way. But usually people are coming because there's a magic show. Like when you go to Lake Tahoe, this is one of the reasons I love this little theater called The Loft is it's kind of in the perfect spot. If you want to make a magic theater, here's what you want to do. You want to find a place that people are already going to, and they're going to do a thing, and then they're like, now what? Like a great place to have a magic theater would be right next door to Mount Rushmore. Because the whole family says, let's go see Mount Rushmore, and you drive out in the middle of nowhere, and then you see Mount Rushmore, and you go, nice. And then you're like, what are we going to do now? So if you had a magic theater next to Mount Rushmore, I think that'd be the perfect place. The second perfect place is this place that I go to in Lake Tahoe. There's this beautiful area of South Lake Tahoe called Heavenly Village. There's a theater there called The Loft where they have magicians every night, like magic shows every single night. And it's cool because people go to Lake Tahoe either to go during the summer, they're going on the lake, they're doing water sports, hiking, that kind of thing. And then during the winter, they go and they ski on the mountain. They ski all day long, and then at the end of the day, they have some pizza or some Mexican food, and then they go, what do we do now? And there's this theater, and there's not much else going on. there's a little magic theater. And so they pack the place out, and it's great. And so I go do shows up there. A few friends of mine, we perform there, a couple times a year. And I get to go hang out with my friend Bobby, who runs the joint up there. And it's wild because people just turn up. Well, this was the first time that I had done shows up there where multiple people were like, hey, we saw on Instagram your video, and then we saw you're going to be in Tahoe, and we came. What? Are you kidding me? That's like a thing that happens? Hasn't happened to me before, but it happened now, so it's cool. I'm very excited to be adding shows. What I would love to know, if you're listening to this, is where are you at? Where should I bring my little show? We're booking tiny little venues all around the country, and we're just turning up and bringing some fun and seeing what'll happen. And when I say we, I mean me, and sometimes one of my kids. But I'm super stoked. Let's see if this works here. Oh, if you're watching this, if you're listening to it, I'm sorry, but if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little graphic that just popped up, and it's all my tour dates. So I'm going to Portland, Oregon on April 11th. This next week I'll be in town for a corporate event. I'm doing a 4-day event here in town. But then on April 11th, go to Portland, Oregon. This is pretty fun. I've never been to this theater. My buddy Dave Nyhill is a hilarious comedian, and he's really encouraged me with a lot of these venues. He kind of recommended a lot of these venues to me. But I'm going to Portland, Oregon, a great little venue there called the Siren Theater. And then Seattle, Washington, I'm going to be there the next day. So it's like a Pacific Northwest, and tickets are going pretty good. It's like we've got a few seats left for Seattle. And Portland's looking really good too. But if you know anyone who's in the Portland or Seattle area, I will be up there April 11th and 12th. Then on April 20th, we go to Grand Rapids, Missouri, Michigan. I'm so sorry, Grand Rapids. I don't know. I bet I offended people from Missouri and people from Michigan. I'm so sorry. Don't go to Grand Rapids, Missouri. I will not be there. I'll be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, part of a magic convention called Wonder Bash that my buddy Trino's putting on. It's going to be awesome. So if you're a magician, come on out to that and hang with us. I'm also doing a lecture for the magicians. But if that's not you, if you're a non-magi, if you're a muggle, which sounds offensive, but I like muggles. Those are the non-magical people. Come on out. We're going to do it's going to be great. And he's got a few different people coming into town. So I'm excited about that because I get to hang out and watch the shows too. Okay. Then April 30th, this is a big one, friends. I did my show called The Last Sermon. This is a show that I've worked on for 10 years. It is not my Feel Good Magic Tour. So I know I've got it listed here with the tour dates, but let me just clarify. If you're in Los Angeles, I'm doing 2 shows that week. I'm doing 2 Los Angeles shows. The first show is on April 30th. It's a Tuesday night. It's at Dynasty Typewriter where I filmed my first special, Chasing Wonder. It's a beautiful little theater. I love this place. 185 seats, gorgeous. Wonderful space. And Jamie and Vanessa, who run that place, they've curated this glorious magic. Just go, if you can't go to my show at Dynasty Typewriter, go to a show at Dynasty Typewriter. You'll be glad you did. But I'm going to be doing my show, The Last Sermon, which is a show I worked 10 years to write. It's the story of my love affair with misdirection as a magician, and then how misdirection snuck into another area of my life. For me, it was in a place that I worked and was a part of, but for many years I was a pastor at a church. Some of you knew that. Some of you are looking at my face right now and going, that checks out. But yeah, I was a pastor at a church for many years. And then this basically the story of how that happened, how I got involved in magic, how I got involved in church, and then why I decided to stop being a pastor, and kind of the journey of how I'm doing what I'm doing now. It's a really fun show. There's a lot of stories about being a magician in it. There is no magic in it. So it is it's 75 minutes of comedy and storytelling, and I think you'll like it. It's a good time. I don't know when I'm doing it again. We did it once, and I said, hey, we'll see. Maybe we'll only do this once, and then And then we're doing it again April 30th. And that show will sell out. It's already, the tickets for that are, I barely promoted it and it's already going good. So if you are interested and available, please come on out to that show. May 2nd, this is a huge one for me. May 2nd, I'm going to be doing my first headline show at the Comedy and Magic Club. The Comedy Magic Club, if you have never been, is amazing. It's one of the best clubs in the entire country, if not the best comedy club in the entire country. It's been around for years, since the late 70s. And when I was a kid, I watched a guy named Harry Anderson perform his Comedy Magic special on the stage there. And I actually did a little segment for my first special, Chasing Wonder, at the club. It's great. You got to come out. Again, if you can't come to my show, come support these venues whenever you can. If you're ever in LA and you're looking for a great night of comedy and laughter, yeah, you can't go wrong with the Comedy and Magic Club. So that's May 2nd. Okay, May 10th, I just added dates. I'm coming to Atlanta, Georgia. We're doing a show in Atlanta on May 10th. May 16th through the 19th, my first time coming to Canada. I'm going to be performing in Vancouver at Scott, what is wrong with me? I was just talking to my buddy Scott right before this. Sean Farquhar, an incredible magician. Won more awards for magic than anything. He has curated, again, a great little venue. I am so happy, friends, that after COVID, I was worried that some of these places weren't going to be around anymore. And so many more beautiful theaters have popped up and so many have survived. So Sean Farquhar has a beautiful theater called Hidden Wonders. It's like a magic speakeasy, and it's that's a big deal to me. I get to perform there. I'm a huge fan of Sean's, been for many, many, many years, and the fact that I get to go perform in a place he built is pretty rad. June 8th, we're going to San Antonio. June 9th, Austin, Texas. June 27th, I'll be back at the Loft in Lake Tahoe. July 12th, I'll be in Denver, Colorado. July 13th, Basalt, Colorado, which is near Aspen. So it's a little closer to Aspen, at a beautiful theater there, the Taka Performing Arts Center. I'll be there. And then July 14th, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I'll have more information on this soon, but you'll be the first to hear on the podcast. We're going to the UK. It's true. I'm going to be doing some dates with my buddy Mark James in the UK in August. And yeah. And so many more fun things. So stick around, stay tuned, and I'll keep posting places that we're going. We are actively trying to add dates everywhere. So if there's somewhere that you're going to be that we should be, please let me know, and I'll make sure that that we get it. Try to get there as soon as possible. We just did a road trip because we were coming back from the Loft in Tahoe, and my family is always so encouraging and supportive of my silly jokes. Sometimes I have a new bit in the show right now that's all about dad jokes. And the whole point of it is my dad, every 3 days on Facebook, my dad will send me dad jokes. He's done this for years. He'll send me dad jokes and he'll be like, I got one for your act. And I try to explain, like, Dad, these are, like, I don't want to do someone else's jokes. These are like jokes. They're like street jokes. These are not show jokes. And he's like, no, son, these are like mic drop level jokes. So I have a whole routine in the new show where I'm sharing some of my dad's dad jokes. And sometimes these bits backfire. I've had 3 people comment, oh, my favorite part of the show was the dad jokes, which is fun if you are there. And if not, you just be like, oh, I don't want to go. That guy's doing dad jokes. But my family has always been super supportive. And the amount of times they've heard me pitch a terrible idea and been encouraging is great. But sometimes they'll just be like, I don't get it. I don't think that's funny at all. And this happened to me on our road trip coming home from Tahoe. Katie and the girls were with me. We had a great time with the family. We've been on the road for 2 weeks. We're driving home, and I bust up laughing because you ever think of something that is not that funny, but it just tickles you? Oh man, I have rethought of this like 4 times since we've been home, and every time I'm gonna tell you right now, are you ready? This is it. Okay, this is not a bit I could do in my show. This is a sketch comedy idea for Saturday Night Live. So Saturday Night Live, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, I'm sure Lauren Michaels is listening to this right now. Feel free to use this bit, okay? Okay, Saturday Night Live. You can use, man, if you use this bit, I'd be so excited. Okay, so here's the bit. This is so dumb. Okay, here's the bit. So we open the scene, and it's a couple of teenagers working in a shoe store. And it's quiet. No one's in the shop. And it's just the two employees trying to entertain themselves. So one of the guys takes his arms and he shoves them in a tall pair of cowboy boots. Then he goes, "Hey, buddy, look at this." And he starts singing, "These boots are made for walking." And he's moving his hand, "These boots are made for walking." And then all of a sudden, we do a hard cut close up on Christopher Walken's face, who goes, "Finally!" I cannot do a Christopher Walken voice, but imagine someone singing, "These boots are made for walking." A hard cut, "Finally!" Oh, I made myself laugh so hard on it. And we get Christopher Walken just going, "I've waited maybe 25 years for a pair of boots made for walking." Oh my gosh. You can't tell me that wouldn't be so funny. You can't tell me that wouldn't be the highlight of the week. I mean, that's an Emmy Award winning bit, right? It is a dad joke. It is a dad joke on the fact that his name is Christopher Walken, and he thinks that these boots are made for walking. But I just think if someone's singing "These boots are made for walking" and you cut to him going, "Wow, fantastic." It's so good, right? It's so dumb, but it makes me laugh so hard. "These boots are made for walking." And then they go, "Mr. Walken, no, I'm so sorry. We were just being silly." And he's like, "No, this is terrific." How about these shoes?" "Well, I don't understand. Why would you give me a pair of shoes made for clocks?" "These shoes were clearly made for a man named Tommy Bahama. I need shoes made for walking." Oh my gosh, we got to move on. We have to move. What is that? This is why I can't do a podcast without a friend in the room with me. This is me just talking for walking. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you that the family was asleep on the road trip after this, and I laughed to myself for 30 minutes. I got the giggles. I could barely breathe. I could barely breathe or breathe. I could barely do either. It was awesome. I went this last week. What else did I do? My buddy Matt Marcy was hosting It's Magic. It's Magic is a show I've always wanted to do, and I've never gotten a chance to do it. But when I was a kid, It's Magic was the big magic show. Like the Magic Castle. So Milt Larson, he and his brother Bill started the Magic Castle. Milt Larson and a gentleman named Terry Hill produced this show for I don't know how many years. I mean, decades and decades they've produced this show. And they've had every major name in magic in these shows. And when you would go to the show, like when I would go as a kid, it was like a real show. You know what I mean? Like a variety show, but it was all magic. So they'd have a host who's a comedian, and they'd bring out an illusionist with big stage illusions. There'd be a guy who does like a dove act with birds, and another guy who does manipulation with cards. And I got to go see it. I went, my buddy Matt Marcy was hosting the show, and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to be by your house. We're doing a show in Rancho Cucamonga." And I live in Upland, which most people have no idea where that is. I call it affordable Pasadena because it's adorable, but much cheaper. And now I have the hiccups, probably from the delicious burrito I ate. Again, why didn't I wait? I'm going to get a cramp. I'm going to get a side cramp. Okay, what am I doing? I'm losing it. Is this me actively losing it? So I talked to Matt, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be right by your house." I'm like, "Can I come to the show?" And so he's like, "Yeah." So I went. I got to go to the show. I got to watch the show. It was so fun. It was so fun. I mean, and some performers that I grew up watching and was like enamored by, and now some of these guys are like my buddies. Like, how cool is that? That's the thing with magic that doesn't happen in any other art form. Like, if you're a singer and you're like, "Man, I would love to meet Adele," That's just, I mean, maybe that'll happen, or maybe you could pay a high price ticket to do a meet and greet somewhere. But the odds of you figuring out a way to meet Adele are slim to none. But as a magician, they all just hang out. Like you go to these magic conventions, and it's not just. It would be like if you went to a book convention. You know, is that a thing? Do they have book conventions? When I was a kid, we had the what was it called? The day at school where they had all the books, not the book drive, not Book It. Book It was when you read, when you were a book fair. They had the Scholastic Book Fair, right? Imagine if you were a kid and you went to the Scholastic Book Fair at school, and all your favorite authors were there hanging out. They just hanging out. That's how it is with magic. You go to a magic convention or a magic club, you'll actually see the pros doing the thing. It's so cool. So I got to go to this show, but the best part, and the show was wonderful, but the best part was Matt came and picked me up at my house early, picked me up at 10 o'clock because we had an appointment, friends. I don't know if you know this, but there was a restaurant here in California. There was some in Arizona too, and I don't know if it was a nationwide thing. There was a restaurant called Souplantation, which is a weird name, but it was great. It was like a salad bar, a soup and salad bar, and there was another. They had another brand called Sweet Tomatoes, but I loved this place. As a kid, I went here all the time. And then when our kids were little, we would take them there all the time. And then during the pandemic, this is one of the things that did not make it through COVID was, I think it's because they don't have sneeze guards. There's no glass. It's like just you're right there with the peas and the carrots. You know what I mean? There's like it's just you and the broccoli salad. There's nothing preventing you from getting there. So like the COVID would have liked it as well. But yeah, so it didn't. They all closed down during COVID, and I was so disappointed. And you got to understand, you go to this restaurant, you walk in, you get a tray, like a cafeteria tray, and a plate. And because I'm a professional and Matt's a professional, we get 2 plates. So he's got a plate, I got a plate. Or he's got a tray, I got a tray. We each got 2 plates. So we're like, boom, ready to go. First thing you do, they have the pre-made salads. And it's like a Caesar salad and some sort of like a Mandarin chicken salad. Forget all that. Just skip it because you're going to make your own salad, friends. Because this is like a Chipotle of salad, but it's just you, baby. There's nobody else there. There's no bouncer. There's no one regulating how much garbanzo bean. You want a lot of garbanzo? Go for it. You're king at the Souplantation. So anyway, they didn't make it through COVID, but then some genius realized, oh, that building is still there and all the stuff is still there inside, like all the equipment, very specific equipment, very specific bowls. They have these plastic bowls with a handle and you hold it. Oh my goodness. And so, yeah. So anyway, so we found out somebody reopened it, and they got people who used to work there to come back, and they found the recipes, and I would say, I mean, Matt and I decided it's about 75% of what it used to be. It's like there's some new stuff, but the old stuff is about, it's pretty darn close. Okay, so you go through, so we went, Matt and I went, we stood out in the rain. We waited in the rain for, I don't know, 30 minutes. And then 30 minutes later, we are having this glorious experience. We're walking in the soup plant. It's called Soup and Fresh. Soup and Fresh in Rancho Cucamonga. Not a sponsor of the show, but if you'd like to, let's talk. No, I would so be like the mascot for Soup and Fresh. And you know, they just cut to me and I'd be like, "It's so fresh." Yeah. That could be the line. Hey, how's it looking, Carl? It's so fresh. Huh? Did we sell it? Okay. So we walk into Soup and Fresh, aka Souplantation. We get our trays. We go past the prepared salads. We are building our salad. I text, he texts. I don't directly text my friends' wives. I make a habit of not doing that. But Tiffany, his wife, I said to her, I was like, I've never seen him more happy. She was highly offended by that. But I have a photo of him, and I'm telling you, this guy, I could see 5-year-old Matt in this in this moment. And so we walk through, we're building our salads, we're getting it all ready, all the stuff is there, everything's rocking, it's all going good. We get through the line, and then after you get through the line, they take you to your table and you set your stuff down, and then they have a soup bar. A soup bar. And with all this accoutrement that you can put on top, I don't even know if that's the proper use of that word, but they got, you want a little chives or some croutons on your soup or some cheese or some bacon bits. You want to throw some sour cream in your chili? They got it. Then they've got a pasta bar where you can like get macaroni and pasta and different stuff. Then they've got like a pastry area where there's like, muffins and cornbread and baked potato bar. And then pizza. There's pizza, and it's all you can eat. And boy, did we had such a great time. The level of nostalgia that I have attached to this restaurant that I thought I would never have again. I said recently, somebody asked me, they were like, if you could go, this is the honest truth. I may have said this on here, but somebody asked me, they were like, if you could time travel, you could go to any place at any time, where would you go? And I said, I want to go back to Souplantation before they closed. If I could go anywhere in all of time or space, I would choose not to go, not to go to Ford's Theater back in the day and tell Lincoln, hey, maybe sit this one out. No, I wouldn't do that. I would go to a soup-themed restaurant. Oh, that would be so good. So we got to do it. I relived the thing that I had got what I was looking for. And man, it didn't let down. It did not let down. Last thing I'll share with y'all, and other than this, I would just say, friends, like, I'm going to keep posting episodes. I got some new equipment coming that's going to allow us to do some really cool stuff on the road. So look out for more videos. Subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, I'm going to be posting stuff exclusively there. In fact, when this comes out, it may not be when this comes out. It might be a day or two later, but I will be posting. I sat down, I already recorded it, a video of me reading the first chapter of my new book, Misdirection. And it was super fun. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. We're still working on the audiobook, but I thought, it'd be cool to, like, what if I just recorded the first chapter of the book, put it out, see if people like it. And so it's literally me sitting here in the World Shed quarters and just reading, and I kind of share some stuff, pop in with some thoughts of things that aren't in the book. And I think you'll dig it. So look out for that video. Please, please, please let me know if I'm coming to a city and you're going to be there. Let me know. I'd love to say hi. Thank you for coming out and get to hang a little bit. And if there's a place that I should be going on this tour, but I don't have it booked yet, let me know. I am adding dates, and I can't wait. I am what a joy, friends. What a joy. I am so grateful. I'm very overwhelmed with gratitude as of late that I get to do what I do for a living. Like the fact that I can do magic and tell stories and tell jokes and write things down and that's how that's how we're able to pay our bills is the greatest honor. I can't even believe it's a thing, and I'm very excited to share more and more with you. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is called Name This Show, so I guess I gotta name the podcast this week since I don't have a guest. Normally I ask the guest to name the show based on what we talked about, but I guess I would have to call this podcast It's Magic, Souplantation. Thanks so much, friends. I'll see you next time on Name This Show.